2017 XBiz Trans Cam Model of the Year. Everyone's favorite secret girl. Secret Cali Radio. We discuss everything from porn politics, cam politics, trans life, trans dating, and so much more. So take a seat, put on your listening cap, and let's talk. Secret Cali Radio with your host, Kelly Pierce. Good evening, everyone. How are you? Let me move this down a little bit. I think it's a little bit too high. I think I'm going really crazy. But, alright. Hi, guys. How is everybody? I am here to rock it, and we're going to talk about sex tonight. Hi, Madeline. How are you? I hope everybody had a great New Year's and great holidays. I know I wasn't here for my last radio show because of the holidays, but I'm back and ready to rock it. So tonight we're going to delve into sex, transsexual sex, man and woman sex, anal sex, threesome sex. We're going to delve into all of it. I'm good, Madeline. I'm just talking to the live chatting room right here. I see some chatters in the room. So, let's start with anal sex. This question I get asked a lot when I'm on cam or online, Skype. Oh yes, men and men sex. I forgot about that, but I don't really know a lot about that. But I assume it's the same as transsexual sex, so we're gonna delve into that too. So the most question I get asked for anal sex is, how do I prepare myself for it? How do I loosen myself up for it? How do I clean myself for it? Those are all questions I get a lot on cam. And from what I'm told, it's weird. From what I'm told by most of my fans is that they can't seem to get anything inside of them. They can't seem to enjoy it, and the list goes on. So I usually tell them to start with like a butt plug, and they sell an assortment of butt plugs, so many different sizes, and God, I wish we had like a video right now, but we don't. So we're just talking on the radio, obviously. I have to figure out how we can do like a video session so I can like show the different kind of toys I'm going to talk about. We'll have to do that another time. But there is basically a finger butt plug to start off with. And it's a little bit bigger than a finger, and you can go from there. And once you get used to that, sit on your ass for a few hours a day, then go up to the next one, and then the next one, and the next one. And there's people that also sell an anal training kit. I know that Wendy Williams, T.S. Wendy Williams, not the radio show host. I know that T.S. Wendy Williams sells a anal training kit. and it goes from small to big. But I always tell guys to start with a small one, sit it in there for a few hours a day, and just really loosen yourself up. I don't really tell them to use dildos because I don't feel like dildos work as well. I feel like the butt plugs are what really train the sphincter muscle, which is the muscle that basically keeps your ass closed or when to push out your fecal matter. That's what the sphincter muscle is for, basically. You have to like get used to that being open and going in the other direction. So I always tell them to use a butt plug, sit that in there for a few hours a day, and make sure when you're buying your butt plug, you look for ones that aren't round, the round base. The one I trained on was a round base, and it sucked because I would sit that in for like sometimes 4 to 5 hours a day to train myself, and you know, you get kind of bored, and I just wanted to sit there and watch TV or run my errands or whatever. And it's kind of hard to put your pants on when you're wearing the round one. But if you buy the ones that are like a rectangle at the end, those are going to like fit right nicely. They'll fit really nice in your ass crack. And so you can wear like jeans, or you can sit and watch TV or do cleaning or whatever you need to do throughout the day, and you can have that up your butt the whole time training yourself. So that is what I would suggest for most men that are trying to train their assholes. Now, as far as the cleaning goes, there's many different ways to clean your rectum. I prefer just water. I use like warm water, basically. I don't put any kind of like additives in it. I don't put any kind of like sometimes I do use the, because what I basically do is I go to Walgreens or CVS, whichever one you prefer. I get a flea enema, and sometimes I use the stuff that's in there just for the first time, if it has been a while. But I always suggest to guys to maybe buy 2 or 3 of those if you're just starting to learn how to clean your butt or your rectum. Buy 2 or 3 of those and like get used to it and really plunge yourself out. All the fecal matter that's up inside of you. You'll be surprised at how much will stay up there. And like really do a nice cleansing with it. Now there's like coffee enemas. Some people put vinegar in theirs. I would never do that. I think that sounds crazy, but some people put vinegar in theirs. There's salt enemas. There's what other kind of enemas are there? There's prune juice enemas. I think one of my friends says she does a prune juice enema, which I've never heard of that, but I guess she does it. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. I would assume she buys organic prune juice. I would hope so. But there's so many different kinds of enemas that you can wear. Milk enema, yeah, there's one. But there's so many different kinds of enemas. But me personally, I prefer just a warm water enema in a flea enema bottle. I just keep on filling it up over and over again. What I do is I'll fill my anal cavity, at least 3 times with warm water. So I'll fill it up, put it in. Fill it up, put it in. Fill it up, put it in 3 times. And then I let it sit in there for like 3 to 5 minutes. I try to hold it as long as I can in there. And then obviously I release. And then after I do that, it pretty much gets out most of it. But then I do like touch-ups. So I do like another one, release, another one, release, until I feel like I'm totally cleansed out. And then I have a glass dildo. A glass dildo that I have. And what I'll do is I'll take the glass dildo and I'll like plunge myself basically. Because basically what a dick does is like plunges your asshole. So I'll take it and I'll just make sure that all the water, any kind of loose fecal matter that's up there comes out before I'm like even ready for the sex portion. So I just make sure all that's clean. And then after all that's done, I get in the shower and I go about my day. Now me personally, I prefer enemas. I do enemas a lot, to be honest. I am like an enema queen. I do enema sometimes in the morning, and then sometimes in the evening, sometimes at the night. I know it's not really healthy for you, but I do it anyways. Because, you know, for me, when you're in a long-term relationship, you just never know when your partner wants to, like, fuck you. And it kind of ruins the romance if you're like, oh, I'm not clean right now, I have to go and do an enema, etc., etc., etc. So I usually do it like morning and night, typically. Usually when I wake up and then before I go to bed. So I'm always clean, and hubby always has a nice place to put his dick inside of me. So it kind of keeps the sexiness alive. Because you don't want to tell your partner, I'm going to do an enema right now. That's just like a major turnoff for most men. So what bottoms go through, right? But that's what I normally do. Now, I would say also, a lot of people think they're going to be down for bottoming. I feel like a lot of men think they're going to bottom, or like they're obsessed with it. And then like they try it, and then they're just like, oh, it was horrible, I didn't like it. And a lot of times it's because either A, they don't know how to clean themselves correctly, so they feel like when a guy or a trans girl puts her dick up your ass, you feel like a lot of pressure up there, so it's not going to feel good for you. So you have to make sure that's going to make all the difference in your anal experience. If you're all clean up there, it's going to be a lot more natural. It's going to feel a lot better. It's going to be a lot easier, because a lot of the pain and the issues come from when you're not clean up there. And I also suggest to guys to get a colon cleanse. I do a colon cleanse myself about every 6 months. I try to go every 6 months to clean my colon. And it really keeps me nice and irrigated and clean, and I just feel so refreshed. And plus, it just gets rid of old waste that's really stuck up inside of you. And it just keeps you clean, and it's actually really healthy for you to get colonics. So I always suggest that people do that at least every 6 months. That's my opinion. And that will also help you a lot with the anal side of it. But a lot of the pain comes from when you don't know how to clean yourself, and you don't want to be that person that leaves a mess on anybody. I would be so embarrassed if I ever left a mess on anyone. So always, and trust me, as a top too, because I've topped almost all of my life, because from like, let's see, I've been topping guys since like 18 to 35, and I can tell you a lot of men just do not know how to clean their butthole. So take this advice, because you need it. Because it's going to help you a lot in the long run. But the main thing to focus on too is it's gonna be rough the first few times. You know what I mean? You're not gonna like it the first few times. A lot of times you're gonna be like, ow, it fucking hurts. Because I know the first guy that ever talked to me was my husband, and it fucking hurt like a motherfucker. And this is after I was training with a butt plug for like a month. And I was sitting that in my ass for like, I don't know, weeks and hours and whatever. And my husband's pretty big. He's got like an 8.5 inch cock. So he's a big boy. And you don't realize too, is that a dildo and even a toy, even a butt plug, you have all the control. So you know where your pain is. You have all the control. There's no weight behind it. When a man or a trans is fucking you and they have power behind it and the weight behind it and they're in control, it's going to be a whole new ball game. So you have to be ready and be prepared for that, and you have to grin and bear it. And it's going to hurt at least the first 3 or 4 times. But once you get past the 3 or 4 times, at least for me anyways, I enjoyed it after like the 4th time. It was good for me. So, I talked to my husband one time, Madeline, and the first time I ever did, he was drunk. and he liked it a lot. He came during it, actually. And then we tried it again, like a few weeks later, and he didn't like it. And so ever since then, he's just not into it. He's a top. And some people are just tops, like, no matter what you do, no matter what you try, they're just not going to like it. That's just who they are. Because, like, my girlfriend, she's like, my trans girlfriend, she hates bottoming. She's just like, I hate it. It does not feel good to me. I want to be the one to fuck them. She's like, I don't have the anal receptors that you obviously have because, girl, it does not feel good to me at all. I've tried it many times, many different ways. I just don't like it. So for her, she's like a total top. For me, I'm like totally versatile, like both. But it's probably because my hot spot is like right on my anus. So like right on my anus, right above my anus entry, my anal entry, is where my hot spot is. So like when a guy is fucking me, it literally hits that area over and over and over and over and over again. I'm not talking about the taint. I'm talking like right above the hole. Like right above the hole, the entry hole. And if guys lick there, like my husband's licked there for a long period of time, and it made me come hands-free. My husband's fucked me for a long period of time, made me come hands-free. Like that's my hot spot. For some reason, I just got lucky, and that's where my hot spot is. Yeah, I agree. Like, after the fourth time, it becomes very addictive. You like it. And especially if you can, like, find a top that knows what they're doing. You have to find a top that knows how to fuck you, though. That's another problem. Like, for guys that are topping, let's go on the other side. For guys and trans that are topping, you have to, like, aim for something. You can't just, like, fuck aimlessly. Like, this is the same, like, for vaginas, The prostate is your goal. Just like the clitoris is your goal, right? Or the G-spot, I'm sorry. The G-spot's your goal. So you want to find the prostate, which is about 2.5 inches in. So 2.5 inches in is where the prostate is, inside the rectum. And then you want to push down. And I always tell guys, the best way to fuck a trans woman is to lay them on their stomach. And then, like, when you're laying her on her stomach, you're obviously on top of her. Kind of, like, place yourself up farther. Like, lift your body up past her a little bit. Like, where your shoulders are past her and, like, your butt's of her. And then plunge down. So you're going to plunge and fuck her. So when you're plunging and fucking her, it's really going to, like, naturally going to hit the prostate by doing that. Typically. So if you just, like, plunge in there, lift up. So you're lifting your butt up farther. It's going to be kind of like yoga posing. But I'm telling you, it works. Another good way to hit a prostate is to have her stand up. And obviously this was for guy sex too, guy on guy. Works for anyone with a prostate. So anybody with a prostate it works for. But you obviously need to, like, you need to stand straight, and then the guy will be on the side of you, basically. So the trans girl will be, like, standing, and then the top will be on the side. And then he sticks his dick inside of you by fucking you that way. And then he's propping your leg up. So he's holding your leg, basically. And then you will fuck her that way. And that's also going to, like, aim for her prostate. It will, like, curve your dick in to her prostate. For some reason it works. Trust me, it works. Because I've fucked plenty of men in my life, and I know all about topping. And I know all about how to get that dick to come hands-free. So that does work. And you also want to try... No, I don't think that because my friend just asked me on my Twitter. I don't think that doggy style is the best for making someone come. It's good for the top, obviously, but I'm talking about if you want to get your partner off at the bottom. I'm giving you probably the best way. If you're going to do doggy style, do a bulldog. Don't do like the natural, do a bulldog them. So basically what I mean by bulldog is like, the bottom will be kind of like, well, they'll basically be in doggy position with their hands on and you're going to stand up, basically. You're going to stand up behind them. And then you're going to kind of like, just look up bulldogging, because this is too hard to explain. I really need like a picture to show you, but just look up bulldogging. So basically you want to bulldog the partner, and then that's going to naturally like kind of, and then again, you want to lift kind of forward. So you're going to kind of place your body forward so that your dick will like go down into the prostate, and that's going to make them come. But those are probably the best ways to make a prostate come. You can also do it by finger too. If you know how to like reach in and finger them and hit the prostate, that's really good. But you have to have pretty long fingers for that. I don't got long fingers like that. Unfortunately, I have small hands. But I'm sure like men have bigger hands and longer fingers, so that'd be really good. I would say cowgirls would be. I think that cowgirl's good as long as you're backwards. Reverse cowgirl. I don't think forward cowgirl is good, because honestly, the dick will go the other way. It will just naturally go the other way. So reverse cowgirl is probably the best, I would say. And missionary is good backwards. Again, like you're basically doing missionary, but you're just laying them on their stomach instead of laying them on frontwards. I think missionary is okay, but it's not the best if the guy doesn't know how to aim his dick. And that's, again, going to have to take some talent to kind of position your body. I've never come from missionary. Or I've come from cowgirl, like from riding him, but that was because I was aiming his dick inside me. And that's another thing. Like, if the girl knows how to move your dick, just trust the girl. Or the bottom. If the bottom knows how to move your dick, just trust the bottom. Let her do the work. Let them ride you and let them do the work, because they might know how to like hit their prostate, and they're going to be doing all the work. But I think the best way is to lay them on their stomach, which is basically missionary, just in a backwards way. But I would say that missionary is pretty hard to get someone to come. Probably the best way to do missionary is to make them come is to like lay them on their back with their ass halfway off the bed with their legs up in the air, and then you stand up off the bed and fuck them that way. That'd probably be a good way to do it too. But keep in mind, you need to have a higher bed or higher position because you want to push up to hit the prostate. Now, if you have that dick that naturally curves up, lucky you. Lucky you. But most men don't have that natural curve. They have the, pretty much the straight penis. Straight dick. So, I think that also for tops to remember that, you know, again, oral sex is important. Give a little bit of oral. You know, eat their ass, warm it up, finger it a little bit. Get them confident. Slowly put it in, never shove it in. Slowly put it in, work it in there a little bit, and then when they're comfortable, then you can start fucking the way you want to fuck. Because a lot of times, if you just shove it in and the person's not a if the person's not good at bottoming, they're gonna be like crying like a bitch, basically. And they're gonna be like, nope, no more tonight. So if you want them to last, the bottom to last, and you want to get off, make sure you put it in there softly. You can't fuck it just like you would a pussy. You can't just shove it in there unless they're professionals and they know what they're doing. Like, I'm a girl that's been fucked now forever, so like my husband sometimes just shoves it in and I'm fine. But I'm talking about beginners. Now, let's talk about lube. Lube for the asshole. Like, my favorite lube for beginners is Spunk Lube. Spunk Spunk Lube. I like the hybrid because the hybrid for beginners is really good because it's really thick. And you want a thick lube to make it easier for the bottom. Because the thicker the lube, the more barrier you have, the better it's going to be for the bottom. Basically. And it's going to make it easier and softer and nicer for them. So, and then, now if you're a professional like me, if you're an anal professional, I always tell people to use coconut oil or almond oil. Just make sure that both are organic. I usually use coconut oil though, because coconut oil warms up to your body's temperature, and it's really nice for the top, especially if the top isn't wearing a condom. Like my husband and I, we don't use a condom, obviously. And for my husband, he loves it because it warms up really nice, so it feels like a wet, tight hole for him versus just cold lube, you know. So basically, and plus there's not much barrier either, so it's even better for him because he's really feeling like every single crevice on his dick when he's fucking me because of the fact that there's not a lot of barrier there. And plus it's good for your skin, so it's good for your asshole because coconut oil is really good for your skin. And it's good for his dick. So you're doing like all kinds of beneficial things for your body with the coconut oil. So, but obviously I always suggest to use condoms. Like when we do threesomes with my husband and I, we always use condoms with anybody that we have threesomes with, unless they've been tested like we are, and they show us proof of their test, etc. Like when we do scenes or something, like when we did Summer Sen on video or in movies when we do Summer Sen. But definitely try coconut oil, Madeline, because I'm telling you, it's like a nice warm. It's very nice and warm. It warms up to your body. My husband loves it. It's his favorite thing. He never thought he would like that kind of lube. He's like, I didn't know you can. I didn't even know that you could use coconut oil for this. And I was like, yeah. And then when you also become a professional, guys, you guys can also, do you guys know that you can do, you know how you can do like, you know, vaginas, they can do, one second, get the right name. I don't want to like mess it up. Look it up. You know, you can do Kegel exercise. I knew it was Kegel. I was right. You know, you can do Kegel exercises. You can also do anal exercises, or it's not Kegel exercise, but it's basically anal exercises. You can learn how to work your sphincter muscle. You know, like when you're peeing, and you make yourself stop sometimes, like you're peeing, you can like make yourself stop. That is your prostate or your sphincter muscle working. So that's basically telling you to stop peeing. So basically what you want to do is you kind of clench that area. You have to like, I don't really know how to explain it. You just have to feel it like when you pee to make when you're peeing next time, just try to make yourself stop. And that is what you want to do. So you just want to keep on like clenching. You're basically clenching you're working out your sphincter muscle. So you're stronging that out. You're basically working that out. So, like, when my husband fucks me, I can, like, make my sphincter muscle pulsate on his dick when he's pounding me. He also loves it because it's kind of like a vibration on his dick. So it's, like, pulsating on his penis. And I have gotten, like, such a strong sphincter muscle now. Like, if I clash onto his fucking cock, I can, like, keep his dick inside me. He can't get it out. I always find that really funny. Sometimes, like, when he comes, and you know how guys become really sensitive after he comes, I kind of clench onto it just for a laugh. Oh, it's definitely, you just have to, like, train yourself. You just have to train. I'm really good at it. I don't know. But you basically, you're exercising your sphincter muscle. And once you get really good at it, you're eventually figure it out and know what you're doing. And you'll be able to pulsate on the guy's dick. You'll be able to, like, hold on to his penis so he can't pull it out. It's amazing. And it also keeps you nice and tight, too, because you don't ever want to become loose. Because a lot of times, like, guys will complain that you're loose or whatever. If you start losing, like, really big toys or you fist, which I don't do any of those, but some people do, that will also help you get back to your tightness if you're, like, one of those people, though. If you're one that, like, likes to get fisted, or you're one that likes to use big toys. If you use these anal exercises or these sphincter muscle exercises, it will help strengthen your sphincter muscle again and help you stay tight. You should try that. It's amazing. I think it's funny. Hubby gets annoyed sometimes, but I think it's funny. But he loves it. But it took me a good 6 months to a year to, like, really work up my sphincter muscle and, like, strengthen it, Madeline. It took me a while to learn how to do that. It's not like an overnight thing. But I'm telling you, once you learn how to do it, the top will fucking love you. Because it, like, pulsates on his fucking cock. He feels it, like, when he's pulling in and out. Like, when he feels, like, that pulsation on his dick when he's pulling in and out of you, he loves it. My husband, like, goes crazy over that. So those are my suggestions, basically, for anal sex. I hope that covered everything. I think it covered everything. As far as I know. I told you how to clean yourself. I told you the best ways to make someone come. I told you the best ways to strengthen your sphincter muscle. I told you the best ways to train your ass. What kind of toys to use. I'm trying to think of anything else I need to think about. Oh, and then also, I always, like, I know, like, some girls don't do this, but I do this. You can use pussy spray. You know, like Summer's Eve, etc. I use pussy spray on my asshole sometimes. Because it just kind of helps keep the sweat away. It helps keep, like, any kind of stench away. So I'm always clean. And I always get compliments on how clean my ass tastes and smells from people. Because they're like, normally, like I've heard from so many other guys that have had sex with other transsexuals. They're like, oh, they're kind of sweaty. It tasted like sweat or it smelled like sweat or whatever. You smell so good. You smell so nice. You taste good. So I would also suggest using, like, Summer's Eve pussy spray. And I don't have it by me right now. I tell you what kind I use, but if you check on my Twitter later, I'll tell you which one I use. But I've been using that for years, and all the things that we've done, I've heard that from so many different guys that have had sex with other transsexuals or whatever. They're just like, yeah, like, other transsexuals, they've had, like, sweaty butts or, like, just didn't smell good or whatever. He's like, you always smell good. Tastes so good. I've never had a complaint about that. So, yeah, guys, make sure that you use some pussy spray. And I don't know if they make guy pussy spray. That's not my department. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they use guy ass spray. I don't know. I don't know. It's not like, and this isn't like deodorant. This is, or like a perfume. You're not putting a perfume on. It's like a spray. So get some kind of spray for that, for sweat, etc. Because I know a lot of times, like my big thing too, like before sex, I like the guy to be totally showered before. And I don't like any hair downstairs either. So he's got to be shaved, he's got to be clean, he's got to, like, a lot of guys are really bad at hygiene, I feel like. So for me, like, I always like, and my husband's the same way. My husband's like so clean and so clean. he like he loves to have he has to have a shower beforehand, unless it's in the morning, obviously. But most of the time, we're very anal about that. Are condoms a hurdle for good anal sex? I don't think so. But I mean, everyone has different opinions, so that's a personal preference. I don't think so. I've never had an issue with using condoms, especially if you get the bearskin condom. I don't think it's that bad, in my opinion. Other people might disagree, but I don't think so. But now let's talk about threesomes, because I get asked about my threesome thing all the time, about my husband, about like what kind of threesomes we do, what our rules are, and things of that nature. So basically, my husband and I were both, I don't like to say we're polyamorous, because we're not into all three. Like, we're into all, like, we're basically into hot people. Like, we like sexy people. Doesn't matter if they're trans, doesn't matter if they're a woman, doesn't matter if they're a man. If they're sexy and we're attracted to you, then we're about it, basically. So, but we don't really like to put a like, I really like to put a label on things, because we're not, like, we only date, like, for me, I only date men, and for him, he only dates women and trans women. He would never date a guy. So I don't really like to go into the dating thing, because I feel like being bi, in my opinion, being a real bi person, you would date and fall in love with both sexes. That's a real bi person, And a real polyamorous person is someone that would date all three sexes, and they could fall in love with all three sexes. Meaning, by three sexes, I mean trans, man, and woman. That they would be able to date, fall in love, and with all three. That's real. To me, that's what a real bi person is. That's what a real polyamorous person is. That's why I never claim that I'm bi, because I don't like that. Because I don't feel like I'm bi. I just feel like I just like to enjoy sex, and I'm just open to everything, as long as they're attractive. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the bi term is used so haphazardly. I feel like so many people are like, oh, I'm bi. And it's like, no, you're really not bi. You just like to suck dick. Or you're really not bi. You just like to make out with girls. Or you're really not bi. You just like to, like, eat some pussy. You might be a girl. That's not really, that to me is not really bi. That's just open. You're open sexually. To me, a bi person is somebody that would be able to date Harriet, fall in love with her, and be all about her. And then at the same time, she'd be able to marry Robert and be totally into that sex and be all about them. That, to me, is a real bi person. And the same for polyamorous people. So I just think that we're just open sexually, So for my husband, he likes a certain type of man. Like, my husband, he likes big muscle guys. He's all about muscles. That's the only type of guy he's really into. And obviously he likes bottoms, just like I like bottoms. Like, I love a good bubble butt on a man. So for me, like, my husband and I, our rule is he picks the guys and I pick the girls, because basically his first choice is, obviously his first choice is his first choice is actually trans and women. So it goes trans, women, and then men. And then for me, it's man, woman, trans. So, but, for me personally, I would only, like, for both of us, he only dates women and trans women, and then I only date men. So, and I also have to have a certain type of look for the girl. I like for the girl, for me to be into the girl, she's got to be big breasted and stripperella looking. Like, I like a stripper kind of looking kind of girl, like myself, or like Roxy Ray, or like who else can I think of? Jenny McCarthy would be perfect. Girls like that. That's my favorite. Like, I love that stripperella look. But I only fuck girls with a guy. So that means I only like to fuck girls with my husband's present. Like, for me, I would never, like, personally go pussy hunting, or I would never, like, go by myself and, like, go fuck a girl by myself. Like, that's just not for me. A guy has to be there, or I'm not into it. Like, I'm like the typical, like, straight girl that has, like, a little monopoly or fantasy, or likes to have sex with girls or whatever. But I always have to have a guy there. So I like to pound pussy with a guy, because otherwise it's just awkward for me. Like, if I'm with a girl by myself, it would just be really awkward. I would have no idea what to do. I like when the guy directs us together. I like the fantasy of all that together. That turns me on. I like to see him fuck the pussy so I can watch. That all turns me on. Because I'm kind of a voyeur and an exhibitionist, so I like both. So that's kind of like my side of it. And then my husband, he is only into muscle guys, like I said earlier. He's only into boys that have, like, big muscles, and he likes, like, the good-looking basically muscle guy. And for him, he likes a bottom, just like I like a bottom, because I only personally bottom for my husband. I don't bottom for other guys. I only bottom for my husband. And I personally like to top the third party male, because of the fact I barely ever get to top, because my husband's a total top. So for me, my outlet is the bottom boy, and that's my outlet when I want to top somebody, basically. So, but I like a bubble butt, bubble butt, and I'm not talking like Kim Kardashian bubble butt, but like a man's bubble butt. And so that's always fun for us. We like to, and he's really into sucking cock, and I'm really into sucking cock, and I love seeing him fuck a guy. That's a big turn on for me. Like, just the same for, like, girls on girls. For us girls, we like to see two hot guys make out together sometimes. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yeah, he'll top the guy too. That's why I said I like to see them together sometimes. But he's not, like, that big on topping. The other guy, to be honest, he's more big on, like, sucking the cock. Because he finds that, like I said, he finds that most guys just don't know how to bottom. He's kind of spoiled, I think, because he's always telling me, he's like, they don't bottom like you, or they can't take it like you, or they just don't smell good, or they just, whatever. So he's kind of spoiled in that sense, because he's always telling me he just prefers to suck their cock. And we've had, like, plenty of bottom boys, but a lot of times it's because of inexperience. Like, a lot of the boys that we've hooked up with, a lot of these muscle guys are just so inexperienced when it comes to bottoming. So Yeah, so many of my girlfriends love gay porn too. So many of my girlfriends love to see two hot guys make out. It's so funny to me. But so he is more into this the cock sucking portion of it. To be quite honest with you, Madeline, he just likes the cock sucking portion. That's kind of what he's more into, and he likes to watch me top. He likes to watch me top, which is a big thrill for him. So he's kind of a voyeur too. But basically, our rules are he picks the guys and I pick the girls. So that way we both get to, because obviously they're not our first choices, and well, we're going to be a pickier because if you're they're your first choice, you have, I think you're more open to attraction when it's your first choice. Like your standards are a little bit more open. When if like for men, like my first choice is men, so obviously my first choice for men, I would find some guys attractive that my husband wouldn't find attractive. And then same for him. He could find like some girls attractive that I don't find attractive, which has happened with both of us. Like he's found guys that I was like, ew, no, and he's found girls that I was like, ew, no. So it can happen either way. But we always make the decision together, which is really important. And you have to like also, I find like another thing is like jealousy. For us, like the third person is just a play toy. It's basically to us, it's like a live sex doll. We want to fuck them, get off, and then they can go home. That's basically our motto. Fuck them, get off, and go home. Can we buy your cab fare? But that's basically how we do it. Cause like it's just like for us, it's just like we separate sex from the relationship. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people can't do that. And I don't know. I feel like for us, we enjoy watching each other fuck. We enjoy like knowing each other got pleasure out of it. We enjoy the fact that both of us get to come. And a lot of times, for us, he finishes inside me. Because A, he doesn't have to use a condom with me. And B, he just likes the way I fuck him. So for us, it's like most of the time he finishes in me anyways. So it's not even that big of a deal. It's just basically him sucking cock, and sometimes a lot of times he'll fuck pussy, and like I like watching him fuck pussy. I like watching him come in pussy. I like that whole thing. So it just doesn't bother me at all. I think you have to be really into it, because if you're just doing it to save your relationship, that's not a good reason to do it. Like I was always doing threesomes. I've been doing threesomes in my relationship since I was like 23. Like it's just something I've held a standard for throughout my whole relationship life. Like I've told every guy I've ever been with since I was 23, if we're going to be together, we have to have threesomes with guys and girls. You know, it's just been it's been a thing for me since I have been in relationships since I was 23 years old. So it wasn't like, it was like, oh, I'm trying to save my relationship, or I'm trying to do this, or I'm trying to do that. It's because I personally cannot sleep with the same person for the rest of my life. Especially if one's just a top, or one's just a bottom, or, you know, whatever. I like to feel pussy sometimes. I like to feel ass sometimes around my dick. I like to do all of that. So if I don't get to explore that, I'm going to be missing that portion of the sexual life, and I'm just not willing to give that up. And I don't think you have to give it up. I think you can still be in a loving relationship and everything, and without issues, if you both are okay with it and you both talk and you communicate, which is big. It's huge, communication. But if you're doing it to save your relationship, or if you're doing it because if you're doing it because the other person just wants to do it, that's not the right reason to do it, obviously. It's just going to cause problems. It's going to make you feel insecure. It's going to make you feel shitty about yourself. And you should never, never, never do it for those reasons. And if they're pressuring you to do it, and they're not letting you, if they're not going to like hear you out, and they're not going to be like, and respect that your wishes, that you don't want to do it, then you might want to move on from that relationship, in my opinion, because they're pretty much telling you that they want to fuck somebody else. That's basically what they're telling you. They want their cake and eat it too. And that might not be for you. So you just might not be compatible. And that's just life. But for me and my husband, we've always been on the same page. We've never had any arguments about it. We've never gotten jealous over, a threesome person. We've never had any drama. It's basically just been, we came. Okay, what's next? Oh, just go about our day. That's basically what it's like. Back to being a wife and husband. It's never been any kind of big deal. It's not like it's an argument we have, and we look for people together every once in a while, and we don't always need it either. It's not like we're doing it every day either. It's not like we're like finding people every weekend, and we're not doing it every weekend. It's not like a regular part of our life or a regular part of our sex life. We do it every once in a blue moon. And it's because either A, we can't find the right person because we're both really picky, or B, we just don't have time, or C, we're just not in the mood for it. But if you're doing it, again, I'll say this again, if you are doing it for any other reason but for your own self, then don't do it. Don't do it because your partner wants you to. Don't ever do it because of that. If it's a mutual agreement, you both are on the same page, then great. And also, you have to like make your boundaries in the beginning. Don't make up boundaries as you go. Just sit down together, talk it out, and be like, these are the rules at the moment. This is what I expect. This is what's not going to piss me off. And you both respect those rules. If you can't respect those rules, then you guys have to either argue about it for a little bit, or just decide not to do it because you guys are just going to buy it, but you just can't agree. You agree to disagree. But for my husband and I, we both agreed to everything, and there's a few things that we did change later on, because at first he didn't want like anyone eating my ass or whatever. But I was like, oh, that's not really a big deal. They can eat my ass. They can finger me. It's not really that big of a deal. And he's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay. And he's like, well, I don't know if I want him doing that. But he's fine with it now. So we kind of like compromised on that. Because before it was like, they can't touch your ass. They can't do anything with your ass or whatever. Which I'm totally fine with. I don't want anyone else fucking my ass besides my husband. But I don't think anal licking or oral sex on anal is that big of a deal. And he's like, yeah, that's true. So basically, that was something like we basically changed later on. But that's, again, that's your personal relationship, that you always have to make your own decisions together. You have to like decide what you're okay with each other doing. Just like whether you're ready to give somebody a hall pass, you have to be totally okay with that, and you have to realize that, because I've like had girlfriends that were like, oh yeah, I gave my husband a hall pass, but now I'm pissed as hell. And I'm like, well, why'd you give him a hall pass? I asked them, what was your reasoning for giving him a hall pass? And they were like, oh, because I think he was just restless. He was having sex with me, so I didn't want him to like cheat on me or whatever. And I just wanted him to know that he's okay to have sex with other people. And she's like, I thought by letting him and she's like, what I thought would happen if I let him have sex with other people, he'd have more sex with me, but that's not happening. So again, bad reason to give your husband a hall pass. Because, girl, if he's not having sex with you now, he's probably not going to have sex with you again if you're going to let him have sex with every Tom, Dick, and Harry that you want him to have sex with. He's like, oh, can I have sex with this person? Here's a hall pass. But I think that her problem more is she's kind of let herself go, and I'm not saying I'm not saying anything against her, but like, I think what happened in the relationship is that she let herself go. And men tend to, like, when they mirrored you a certain way. They want you to stay that way, and then like men can't get past the visual part. So I know it's kind of like sad and it's misogynistic, but that's just the truth. Men are just like that. Men are just like that, and it's unfortunate, but it's just the way that men are. And I was just like, girl, maybe if you dropped 20 pounds, he'd be more into you. Maybe if you did this with yourself, he'd be more into you. And she's like, yeah, I need to get healthy, and yada, yada, yada. Because the reason why she got pissed off is because the girls that he was getting hall passes for were girls that were like a size 4. A size 4, a size, basically nothing. And those are the girls he was having sex with. And that's what pissed her off. Because that's what she was when they first got married. They were like, she was like a size 4 with like big boobs. And now she's like probably a size 12, 14. So Stu said he's past the visual part. He said just keep making him laugh. That's all he needs to get inside your panties. But yeah, for threesomes and for hall passes and for all that stuff, it has to be a mutual consent in a relationship. You can't just you can't do it just because the other person wants to do it, or the other person is the only one that wants to do it, and you're just doing it because you feel like you have to do it, or they won't be with you anymore. That's just not a relationship. That's just so fucked up. And I know so many girls that think it's going to remedy the relationship if they let them have a hall pass, or if they let them do threesomes, or like it's going to remedy your relationship. No, it's not going to remedy anything. You're just patching over problems that you already have. That's basically what you're doing. That's smart, Stu. That's smart. But my friend, I feel bad for her because they were so good together. And then, like, just this last year, she's having all these problems, And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And it's not like she's had kids or anything, She hasn't had kids. She's just, I just think that she eats, her feelings is a big part of it, her insecurity. That's why she eats so much. And I don't think he helps her self-esteem. I think he puts her down a lot, which plays a big part in it. And then he's having sex with like these girls. He lets these girls that are like size 4s that she gave him a hall pass for because she thinks that that's what he needs to satisfy his needs and they're stay together. And all that is weighing down on her and making her feel more depressed. So what happens when she's depressed? She eats more, instead of like remedying it. And it's just sad. And I just want people to know you never have to, don't ever, ever, ever sacrifice yourself for somebody else. Never. So, now what else do you want to talk about, Madeline? You want to talk about other stuff? That was my threesome speech. I have no idea how polyamorous relationships work. I personally could never do a polyamorous relationship. I could not share my husband or my mate emotionally. Now, sexually, that's one thing. But emotionally, no, I'm the only bitch in this household. Sorry to tell ya. Sexually is one thing. Emotionally, you can fuck the right off because this is my kitchen. This is my husband. I'm not sharing him. I ain't gonna be a sister wife. Sorry about it. No. I couldn't do it. But, more power to people that can do it. But personally, I find emotional cheating a lot worse than physical cheating. I don't know if that's my opinion. I find emotional cheating so much worse than physical cheating. Because when there's feelings behind it, and it's not just a fuck, wow. No, ma'am. Couldn't do it. But my friends are in a polyamorous relationship, and I don't know if it's like the most ideal relationship because I think he's kind of annoyed. It basically, the polyamorous relationship is she has a girlfriend, basically, and he's obviously her boyfriend still, but like the boyfriend doesn't hook up with the girlfriend, so basically she gets a girlfriend and he gets just her. So it's kind of a base. I don't know if that's really is that really a polyamorous relationship? I guess it kind of is, but it's a very one-sided. Because I thought the polyamorous relationship was where they all hook up with each other, or they all date each other. Is that more of like a one-sided polyamorous relationship? I wonder. I wonder. But basically, like, I think he's annoyed that he I think that he's annoyed. Sorry, I was looking at the chat. I think he's annoyed that she gets a relationship and he doesn't get one, basically. So I think it's very one-sided. And again, one-sided bullshit does not work. Just like when I talk about my cam shows all the time. I tried to date guys that were into my penis because I was like, oh, he's a nice guy and he wants to date me. He's going to be open about me and everything. He's fine with dating me. But he was just like, all right, I don't suck dick, but you can suck mine. And I was just like, no. Sorry. I don't deal with that one-sided bullshit. You have to suck my dick too. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, like I keep on saying all night tonight. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. You better get down on your knees and suck my dick if I'm getting down on your knees to suck your dick, buddy. Because I don't know how girls do that. I just can't. I have to have my orgasm, and if I don't get an orgasm, I'll be very pissed off. I get very angry if I don't get my orgasm. But the crazy thing about polyamorous relationships is, what if like both, like, I just couldn't imagine if like for a man, on the man's side, like if you had two women mad at you. Think about that. Or if you're dating two guys, you guys can be like bitches. Like when they're pissy. I wouldn't want two boyfriends or two husbands. Oh my god. One's enough. I couldn't imagine dealing with two. On their man period. Oh god. Or both being sick at the same time. Men are such babies when they're sick. Oh god, I would freak out. No, I just couldn't do it. It's too much. One relationship is good enough for me. Sorry about it. So guys are the biggest crybabies ever. My husband, I'll tell you what, my husband is a big crybaby. When he's sick, biggest crybaby ever. He acts like he's an invalid sometimes, or I have to like do things for him that he doesn't want to do. He's so, like, men are the biggest babies ever. They are. They are just big babies. So we covered threesomes, we covered the anal sex, we covered, what else do we have to cover? Oral sex. Let's talk about oral sex. So, let's talk about dick sucking, blowjobs. A lot of guys are like, teach me how to give a blowjob online. And I'm just like, I can kind of try to explain to you, but it's kind of hard to teach you online. But I'm going to try my best to tell you like the best way to suck a dick. I always tell guys to practice with a dildo. Practice with a dildo. And, you know, figure out the frenulum, which is the frenulum is basically the top of the penis. The back side of the back side of the penis. The front side of the penis. No? Would it be the back side or the front side? I'm trying to figure that out. Well, the underbelly of the penis. It's the top of the penis, where the head is. It's the little triangle, the triangular part. That's your frenulum. And that's why a lot of guys blow easy, because a lot of times your frenulum is a lot more sensitive than other guys, and that's why some guys last longer, because they have a less sensitive frenulum over the other guy that has. Because men have 3 G spots basically. Men have their frenulum, their prostate, and their taint. That's the 3 G spots of a man. Or transsexual, either way. They have 3 spots too. So those are the 3 G spots. And those are all like really good spots to hit when you're giving a blowjob, or you're licking, or you're sucking. Like when you suck, make sure to use your tongue on the frenulum. Like just lightly flicker your tongue on it when you're sucking the dick. When you're pulling up, hold the dick. I don't usually use my hand, but if you're going to use your hand, get it nice and sloppy and wet, and then like cup the dick with your like thumb sticking up, and then when you're pulling up, when you're masturbating the dick, it's going to kind of flow over the frenulum a little bit when you're jerking them off, and when it hits the frenulum, it's going to make it even more sensitive for them, and the more you can massage that and touch that, it's going to make them blow. My husband said he never got off from blowjobs. He never got off from blowjobs, and then he got a blowjob from moi, and moi made him come. Because the frenulum is really important, a really important part. Because my husband's one of those guys that has a less sensitive frenulum, so he lasts forever. And guys, to last longer, you really want to train your frenulum. So, like, you want to train with like, either a fleshlight or some kind of pussy toy. I prefer the auto blow too. Use the auto blow too. It's what I would try to mess with. And just kind of like masturbate with it. You know, train your frenulum, make yourself last longer. Edge as long as you can. But the more you can like teach your frenulum how not to like be too sensitive, and how to control your penis, the better you will be in bed, and the longer you'll last. Because a lot of times, like, I've been with guys. I remember doing a scene with a guy. He was like probably like what, 19, and he was so nervous to like do a scene with me, and I got down on my knees to start to suck his cock, and right when I put my hand on his dick, he came. It was so cute, but I was like, wow, he came so fast. And unfortunately we couldn't use him for the scene because he couldn't get back up after that. I mean, we waited like 3 or 4 hours. It was ridiculous. But I mean, he was only 19, and it happens, and at least he got his little experience. But I've been with guys that, like, you know, they pop so fast. 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Like, they pop, and I'm like, already? What about me? And that's not just with, I'm not talking about anal sex. I'm just talking about oral sex. Like, they pop so fast. I'm just like, were you jerking off beforehand? Were you this excited? Because I don't know. I don't pop that fast. That's like crazy fast. But I would suggest using the fleshlight or using something like the Auto Blow 2. And yeah, like one pump chops. I get those guys on cam too. Like, I get guys on cam that like, they come into my room, they jerk off for like sometimes like it seems like 30 seconds, and they come, and just like, how do you come that fast? It's ridiculous. Yeah, edging can make you last really long, and edging is really like, that's basically like training your penis, training. But I always tell guys, the more practice, the better, you know. So it's like, if you can't do it with a real pussy, at least use an Auto Blow 2 and train yourself with that. And just practice. Because the more you feel friction on your penis, the better, and you'll get used to it. And you'll last longer. But also, another good thing for guys that are actually really sensitive is that you're most likely keep your erection longer. Meaning, like, when you get older, you're keeping an erection without using Viagra. And then guys that are, like, less sensitive there, you're probably going to be, like, having to use that Viagra by the time you're 40, 50. And that's just the truth. So, but at least that's a good sign for those one pump chumps. You keep your erection longer, boys, without some Viagra. That's true, Stu. That's true. I don't eat specific foods. I don't know. I take hormones even. I don't know. I've just been a big comer almost all my life. I've never done anything special. I've always had that big pop shot. For some reason. And like, if you watch the scene with Roxy Ray, I actually came twice when I was fucking Roxy Ray, like when I came out. And the reason I popped twice is because I felt like there was stuff in there when my husband was fucking me during the scene that wasn't coming out for some reason. Because sometimes when you take hormones, for some reason, like your cum will stay inside for some reason. You feel like you orgasm, but nothing comes out. It's really weird. You feel like you orgasm, but nothing comes out. You have all the feeling of like orgasming, but nothing comes out because of the hormones. So what happened is that when I was fucking Roxy Ray's pussy, you know, I felt like I needed to come, but this time it actually came out, and then it came again because there was extra cum in there, and so it came twice. It was crazy. And that's happened to me a few times, but it's from the hormones. For some reason, hormones, like, it will block your cum from coming out. I don't know why. Yeah. It always pre-cum, like, whenever I get fucked, I pre-cum like no other. It just, like, flows out like crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, like, I just naturally have a big cum shot for some reason. I don't take anything special. I know that, like, guys in porn, they take, like, Christian could tell you, like, Christian XXX, if you ever message him on Twitter, I think he takes, like, some kind of concoction. He takes, like, muscle milk and other stuff like that to make a bigger cum shot. But most of the time, like, for people, like, what they do, like, most porn performers, they just don't jerk off for, like, 3 days, 4 days. So, but yeah, I did that with Foxy too. Like, when you're talking about the Foxy scene, I think I like came all over her braces or something. She was shocked how much I came. It just happens. I don't know. I'm just a big comer. Just naturally big comer. But I know that like some of the guys in porn, they use muscle milk. And they say that helps a lot. For some reason. I don't do that. I'm guessing that muscle milk tastes like one of those nasty shakes or something like that. One of those protein shakes like my husband drinks. Oh, my husband drinks those protein shakes. They smell like baby formula. They're so gross smelling. I don't know how he drinks it. Oh, the Roxy Ray cum shot. Yeah, that was huge. That was a huge cum shot. It was like twice in a row. That was crazy. It's a big cum shot. But I've always been known for that in my pornos, is my cum shot. Yeah, my husband drinks he drinks like this grass-fed protein shake all the time. It just makes the whole like kitchen smell. I hate it. It smells so gross. And he was trying to get me to drink it one time. He was like, it's vanilla. He's like, it's vanilla. He's like, just try it. So I tried it, and it did not taste anything like vanilla. It tastes like, it was disgusting. It was the most disgusting. It tasted like sour milk. It was so gross. He seems to like it. But I know a lot of guys, like, they take that muscle milk and stuff like that, and it supposedly helps them with the cum shot. My husband's a big cummer, too. But I don't think it's because of this shake, because I just think he's just naturally a big cummer. Like, whenever he comes in my ass gets, like, full. There was one time, like, I swear to God, he came in my ass, and I was, like, this sounds really gross, but, like, for, like, 3 days, I was pooping out cum out of my ass. It was ridiculous. I kept on seeing, like, little white things coming out of my butt. He's just, like, a huge cummer. It's ridiculous. But I love it. I like a huge cum shot. There's another good thing about when the guys are topping you. You can condom free. Like, you can feel like the dick spread apart, and you can feel like the cum like flow out. It's amazing. I love that. I love it. Because like a lot of times, like, the cum shot will hit my prostate during it if it's strong enough, and it feels so good. Yeah, he's always had that big cum shot because he didn't start drinking this muscle. He didn't start drinking these shakes until like later in our relationship. Like in the beginning of our relationship, he didn't do any of that bullshit. He didn't drink any shakes or anything. He just started doing that when he became like really healthy and whatever. Because my husband was like a little pudgier when I first met him. Was like pudgy, but he was like 170. You know, and I thought he was so cute. He had like the little chipmunk cheeks. I thought he was so adorable. Now he's all skinny, with his new healthy dieting and everything, organic everything. But he was so cute. But he's always had that big, huge cum shot. So, I have a question on my Twitter from a guy, and he wants to know, how hard is it to make yourself come with a dildo? I don't come with a dildo. I've never come with a dildo. I don't know. I just don't think I can do it. Like, I don't feel like dildos and dicks feel good at all. They don't feel the same. I mean, like, dildos don't feel the same as a dick at all, in my opinion. Not in the least. Like, dildos are like cold, they're lifeless. I will say that if you're gonna get a dildo though, or a butt plug, try to get a 11s, because 11s at least has a buzz, and it will feel really good. Try to at least get, hi Michael, try to get at least a like 11s. It's Lovense. And I like the Lovense Hush, and I also like the Lovense Nora. And the Nora, it like digs into your butt, like it will like does like this twirly circular thing when it's on, and it will like literally like will dig into your prostate because it's kind of bent. It's kind of like it looks kind of like a rabbit in a way. If you've seen like the dildo rabbit. But look up the Lovense Nora. You'll see what it looks like. And it like That's a pretty good toy, but I like the Hush better because the Hush is more powerful in my opinion, and it like really like buzzes just in the right area. But honestly, for me, I've never come off of a dildo. I don't know. It doesn't feel like a dick. Dicks and dildos feel different to me. Very different. I think dicks are so much better. Way better. No, no, I agree. I think that some girls would disagree. A lot of girls would disagree with that. A lot of girls like their dildos better. But I think that's again like men. A lot of men when they get off when they fuck a girl, they don't really care about the girl. They just like to get off themselves. So that could be it too. Like a lot of that's because a lot of or the guy gets off really fast. Because for a woman, oh, we can talk about women's sex. For a woman needs about 20 minutes of like constant clitoris stimulation to reach a climax. So like I always tell guys, you can buy these toys that are specifically made for the clitoris, that you can sit on the clitoris and it will like vibrate right on her clitoris as you're fucking her, and that will help her get really creamy and come really fast. But for women, a lot of times they need to be warmed up. It's gotta warm it up, babies. You can't just put it in there and think it's gonna do something, because most women don't even come off of sex. Like 50, I think it's like 50% of women, or no, 52% of women never orgasm from sex ever, or just have never orgasm in their life ever. You know what I mean? I do. I use the Hush on cam all the time, Michael. I use both on cam. Those are my tip. I use those with my tipping, because when they tip in, they interact, and the tip, it will go off when the guy tips in a certain amount of money. But yeah, a lot of women do fake. Yeah, like my sisters, like so many of my girlfriends, they've told me like I have like so many girlfriends that tell me I've never orgasmed in my life. My sister is like 39 now, and she's never orgasmed with any of her boyfriends. Not once in her life. She's like, I faked it all of my life. She's like, the only time I've ever gotten off was with a toy. But like I said, women, you need like constant clitoris stimulation at least for 20 minutes. So you got to warm her up. I always say to suggest to either eat them out or to use a toy, but make it vibrate. Really pay attention to that clitoris, warm her up, and then when you get past that 20 minutes or so, then start fucking her, and then you might like actually make her come when you're fucking her, because I can tell you, like, yeah. Some of you guys are talking on Twitter, and some of you guys are talking in the actual chat room. You guys can come in and join the chat room if you want. I don't know if you want to sign up to be a member. It's free. But I know some of you guys are talking on Twitter, and some of you guys. So I'm looking at both. I'm looking at my mentions, and I'm looking at the chat room. So I'm looking at both. Which is kind of cool, because I can see you guys tweet me when I'm on, because I have my phone right next to me right now. I know you can't see me, but I have my phone right next to me, and I have my notifications are coming up, and I can see your questions when they come up, which is cool. But yeah, it is sad, isn't it, Madeline? But it's just because vaginas work. Like for me, like I always tell guys, I feel like I have the better part. Like when they ask me, like, do you plan on getting a vagina? Do you plan on doing this? Do you plan on doing that? I'm like, no, I have no plans to get a vagina, because I feel like I have the better part. And what I mean by I have the better part is that I know almost always, I'm going to get off. I'll get an orgasm. So that alone makes me feel like I have the better orgasming, the better private part, I guess you'd say. I totally feel like I have the better part, because I can at least get off no matter what, typically. Eric, I do find that is a reason why a lot of men are attracted to transsexuals because of the fact with men can tell when a transsexual's gotten off. Like, I feel like it's a big turn on for a lot of men is because when they fuck a trans woman, they know for sure they made her orgasm because when a trans orgasms, you can see it. You know what I mean? You can't fake it. So that's a big turn on for a lot of men. Like, oh, she orgasmed. I made her. My husband loves seeing me orgasm. You know, because he feels like he feel like he did his job. You know, because that's an ego stroke for a lot of men. They like that's why a lot of women fake it to make their significant other feel better. Like, oh yes, baby, you did so well. It felt so good. You're the master. You're the master of my pussy. That was the best sex in my whole life. I agree, Madeline. For me, like I feel the exact same way. No orgasm. I get really bitchy. So I don't want a vagina because I don't want a haphazard. I don't want a haphazard orgasm maker. I want to know I can always get off. And I know with a penis I can always get off, almost always. There's no guess to it. Almost always works eventually. Like I can no, I think that's yeah, Josh, I think that's the reason why a lot of women don't like sex as much as men do because men always are getting a constant gratification from it. You know what I mean? Men get a gratification from it all the time. They almost always orgasm. Versus women who feels like it's kind of a chore for them because like they're just basically getting you off and they're not getting anything from it but you getting off. So like that's what my sister says all the time. Like, oh, my husband wants to have sex all the time, but it's just like for me, it just like, you know, it doesn't do anything for me a lot of times. No, but I would say like the best way to come, Michael, I think the best orgasm is a hands-free orgasm. And that means anal, like prostate milking. I think prostate milking is the best orgasm. Honestly, that's why a lot of times if you get fucked in the ass for a little bit and then you fuck some pussy, that's why I say like the best way to like one of the best orgasms is to fuck pussy while you're getting your ass fucked. Basically like a daisy chain. So that, like for me, I'd be the tranny in the middle, and then the guy would be fucking me in my ass as I fuck the girl. I think that's like the best way to orgasm. Because you're getting it both ways. I like being the meat in the middle. But yeah, coming hands free is probably the best thing ever. Like I don't think a lot of people have experienced that. A lot of men that I talk to haven't experienced that. And that could be another reason why a lot of them don't like anal sex that much because of the fact they don't really get any orgasm off of it. And that could be either because they're with bad tops or because they're just inexperienced or because they just don't have good anal receptors. Maybe they're just not sensitive down there. Yeah, the daisy chain thing, it's amazing. I think the daisy chain is the best thing ever. When you're fucking pussy wise, you get your ass fucked. I think that's like the best. That's probably like the best way to come, I would have to say. So if you guys can find, for all my bottom boy, all my versatile boys, if you can find a transsexual and a female to fuck, have the transsexual fuck you in your ass while you fuck some pussy, I'm telling you, you'll love it. How would you go about doing that? Well, there's a number of ways of doing that. Maybe if you're an attractive guy, you probably can do it for free. If you're not an attractive guy, there's services out there, I'm sure. There's lots of sex workers out there. It is hard. I'm surprised it's hard for your community though. I feel like gay men are a lot more promiscuous and all about that. I would assume that gay men are more about that than anything. Um, no, Aaron, I don't personally escort, but I'm saying that other girls do. I don't escort, but like my girlfriends do. A lot of my porn girlfriends, they all escort. You can find them on Eros. Eros.com. You'll find them. I would say that like most uh trans porn stars, they charge between $400 to $1,500 depending on the girl. Oh, okay. You're talking about girls. Oh, okay. I get you. I get you. I get you. Oh, I got you. I thought you were talking about a boy. Well, you could do it with a boy too. You could fuck ass while you're getting fucked by a dick. But I just don't find like sometimes ass is just too tight to do it, and you're fall out or you just can't move that much the way you would in a pussy when the other person's fucking you behind. But I'm sure you could do it. I'm sure you could do it with two guys too. Madeline. But for me, I prefer woman, guy, trans. I think that's the best way to do a daisy. In my opinion, the best way to do a daisy chain. Because I've tried it. We've tried it in a threesome with a guy, and I don't think it was like that easy. It wasn't easy for me, anyways. Because like hubby was inside me, and then I was inside the guy. And it was just like was kind of hard to maneuver in and out of the guy while hubby was fucking me. It was kind of just a not very easy to maneuver, I would say. But again, that could be because the guy was a beginner, because the guy was not obviously a anal master. He wasn't like somebody that was used to getting fucked in the ass. So it could have been because he was so tight, and that's why it was hard. Yep, can. That's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about. Because for me, I just personally would not. I just think it's a lot easier with a vagina. What did I think about? Oh, I didn't think it was that great. I think it was kind of like it looked cool for the scene, Steven, but like I don't think it was that great. Like, the double vagina penetration. I thought it was cool for the scene, but I don't think it was like anything to write home about, in my opinion. And I think another part of the problem was like my husband's bigger than me, so it was kind of like hard to maneuver that too. I think for it to be a good, you'd have to find two people with like the same size penises, and then have the girl sit on top of have the girl put both your dicks in her pussy, because then it would be more evenly matched. I don't think it would be that hard at all. We've never done a threesome with a trans girl. We've only done threesomes with guys and girls. Only with guys and girls. I don't like either one more. I don't like either one. I don't like either one more. They're both very different ways of fucking and orgasming. Like for me, like typically, like I say this on Camelot, in the morning time, I feel more like a top, and then at nighttime, I'm about bottoming. So it just depends on my mood, and the orgasms are so different. I don't watch gay porn, no. I watch straight porn, believe it or not. But I really don't watch a lot of porn. And you know what else I watch, which is kind of totally vain? I will watch old videos of Hubby and I. You know, in a threesome setting or when he's fucking me. Like I watch that sometimes. Is that weird? That I watch my own porn? But no, I don't actually watch gay porn myself. I watch straight porn. I'm filming the customs after this radio show. I'm about to like end the radio show so I can go get ready for the customs. Michael. I am gonna be getting in the shower and getting ready for those customs today, actually. And then I'll probably edit them and I'll have them off to the people tomorrow. Edit them down a little bit and then pin them out. Yeah, a lot of girls do watch gay porn. I always find that so strange because, like, I have a lot of, like, male cam model friends, and a lot of their fans, like, they're gay. Obviously, my male cam model friends are gay men. Um, and a lot of their fans are females, and they know that the females know that they're gay, but, like, they like it. So I always find that really interesting. Um, no, no. For me personally, I just don't like to watch gay porn. Doesn't really do anything for me. Bisexual porn does stuff for me though. Like I like bi porn, like where it's like I like male female porn, meaning like two where the male and male do something together with the female involved. Like I like that kind of porn. And I don't watch tranny porn either. I don't watch tranny porn. Tranny porn doesn't do anything for me either. But honestly, in all honesty with you, the reason I watch a lot of my own porn is because I know it was like a natural porn. I know it was like a natural sex. I know like what was fulfilling. I know what was going on. For me, being a porn star, I know where I can see where the editing happened. I can see where the cuts happened. I can like for me, I'm such a porn critic. Like I can like literally like my husband says I'm like the worst person to watch porn with because like I can like oh it was cut there, oh it was edited there, and so like for me it's like I don't watch a lot of porn because of that. Lesbian porn does nothing for you. It does a lot for some guys. Lesbian porn does a lot for a lot of guys. That is hilarious. For me personally, I would never. No, not for me. I just don't. I personally just couldn't do that. Aaron. You like lesbian porn, Madeline? I find it so cliche. I'm not going to repeat that, Stu, just in case he's listening, but I think that's really funny. Because you never know, he could be listening to me right now. So I won't repeat it. But I think that's really funny. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Well, I'm sure you can't watch a lot of porn then, right, Stu? Because he's in most of them. He's in a lot of them. I just like I just like that there's more like male talent now. Like Lance Hart's really good. I'm glad that he's starting to do trans porn. I was liking that Giovanni was doing trans porn, but Giovanni, I think he's gone back to the doing just straight porn. I haven't really seen him do any kind of trans porn lately. Um, but I'm glad they're getting like more male talent in there. That because like I feel like when I was doing porn with like other men, when I was just doing like Kelly Shore porn, it felt like all the talent was freaking bald men. They all look like the same guy, you know? Like every single guy looked like Mr. Clean. And so that's why I like when I was doing my Kelly Shore website, I picked my own talent because all the talent freaking looked the same. And I would get like, it was crazy the guys that like took a risk to do porn with me. I had a guy that was like in the Navy that did a porn with me, and I was like, "Are you sure you want to do this? It's gonna like hurt your chances." He's like, "Sure, I want to do it." Um, and then I had another Marine guy do a porn with me. I had like a frat boy do a porn with me. A Wall Street investor do a porn with me. I find a lot of my own guys because of that. Because I just personally wasn't attracted myself. I just wasn't attracted to it. So, but I'm glad that they're getting more guys into the trans scene. But unfortunately, a lot of these guys are like gay guys. Like I don't like perform with gay men. I'll be like completely honest. I know it's probably gonna offend some people, but I just don't like to perform with gay men because it's just a weird sex, you know? Because you know he's not into you. Like when I did like my first scene was with a gay guy. His name was I don't remember his name. I think his name was Jason. And my very first scene was for TS Seduction, and uh, here I was thinking because I wasn't really attracted to him in the first place, but at least I like at least he's trans attracted. That's what I at least thought in my head. So I like was talking to him, and I was like, "So how long have you been into transsexual girls?" Because they usually have you do a little talk before you do the scene. Yeah, Jason Miller. They usually have you do a talk before the scene, and he's like, "Well, I'm not into trans girls at all." He's like, "I'm just doing this for the paycheck. I'm gay," and so that right there just turned me off. And then he was like the worst actor ever because you could tell he was not into me at all in the scene. At least I was acting like I was into him, and like the guys in the scene could totally tell I wasn't into me. And so that was like the horrible scene. But at least the next day, I did the nurse scene the next day. And then the guy that day was trans attracted, and he was really cool, and it was a good scene because I did the nurse scene the next day, and that was such a good scene. That was a fun scene. But for me, I personally don't like performing with gay men but there's so many men that are doing like so many gay porn stars are now doing trans porn, and I just don't like it. I like being with I personally like to be with trans attracted men. I don't want to be with a gay man. Yeah, I don't like him at all. I didn't have fun with him. I didn't enjoy him. I didn't think that he was attractive. I'll be totally completely honest. And I don't care if he hunts me down on my Twitter and says, "You bitch." I just didn't enjoy that scene at all. But yeah, and then there was another scene I did with another gay guy. Hated it. Not a good scene. No chemistry. Totally tell he was not into me. I was having a hard time getting erect. Because it just was not fun. And so for me personally, I don't like performing with gay men. Like it's like for having sex with my sister. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like to me. So I just personally don't want to have sex with gay men. And I know that's like really offensive to some people, but this is a matter of fact. Or at least be a freaking Academy Award winning actor. Like I call myself the Meryl Streep of mattress acting. Because I can tell you what, when I was Kelly Shore, I faked a shitload in my fucking scenes. And I made it look like I was enjoying it. I made it look like I was having fun. Even when I was like, ugh. And I didn't overact. I didn't let on that I was like faking anything. So, because like some of these girls too, like I don't want to hate on anybody, but some of these girls in porno scenes, they fake it so badly. Like their moans are horrible, and they just like overact. And it's just like, girl, like where are you? You need to take an acting class. But for me personally, I never enjoyed my scenes with gay men at all. And I think that I just wish that more trans attracted men would do porn. I don't know how I got them to do porn. For some reason, I got like people that were civilians to do porn with me that, they probably never thought they would do porn, but they did it with me anyways. I must be a good sweet talker. Because they did it without pay, and they did it for fun, and they did it even if it ruined their careers, Because like I said, one was a Navy officer, one was a Marine. That could have ruined their because this is obviously before Don't Ask, Don't Tell was demolished. I faked it a bunch with a bunch of people. Like with Foxy, I faked it because we were both laughing the whole time. Like the director was like literally like cutting like He's like, girls, we stopped laughing because it was so funny because we were like having sex. It was like having sex with my sister. There was a bunch of scenes where I did with other guys where I was like totally not into it, but I pretended I was. That's why I like it so much. Like, it's so much easier doing porn when you're actually attracted to somebody. It makes your job so much easier. So, I always suggest, that's why I like being independent now, because I can pick who I want to have sex with. I don't have to deal with like showing up to set and it's some like guy some guy I would never in a million years ever think about touching in my life, in real life. Like if I saw him at a bar, I would never be like, ooh, baby, I want to fuck you. That would never happen. But because, you know, it was a porn scene, obviously. There was times, I'll admit, that I made them replace the guy several times because I was just like, no, I can't. There's no way. I cannot act through this. He's so gross. And if you notice, a lot of times in my scenes too, I would always do them doggy style because then I'd have to look at their face. I'd only see the back of them. So much easier that way. No. Oh, you're talking about Matthew? I love Matthew. Matthew's actually a really good friend of mine. Yeah, we did a few scenes together for my website and for he's a gay guy, but it was like it wasn't bad having sex with Matthew because it was like he's like my friend and it was just like it was totally a professional thing and it was fun and it was it is what it is. It was kind of the same thing with Foxy. It was normal. But I'm talking about like guys I didn't know or have any chemistry with. I obviously had chemistry with Matthew because I knew Matthew. I'm talking about like gay guys and I have no zero chemistry with. And like he could have at least lied and been like, yeah, I like trans women too, or I'm totally into this, instead of being like, oh, I'm just about the paycheck, you know? Because I never said that to any of my scene partners ever. I always tried to make my scene partners feel like I was into them. I always tried to make them feel like, we were having a good time or whatever. I was never mean to any of my scene partners. I never like made them feel like they were inadequate or anything like that because it just can ruin the whole scene. It can just make the whole scene go down. So was just like, taking one for the team. That was basically my thoughts in my head. Taking one for the team. But I'm going to end this sex talk. We've been talking for an hour and 53 minutes? Wow. We've been talking for an hour and 53 minutes. I will be back next week. Next week, we're going to be talking all about transition, hormones, cost, best surgeons, things of that nature, because I also think that men need to know about this because men don't realize the money it takes to be a trans woman. Like, they think we just wake up and we're just, like, naturally beautiful, or we're just naturally like this, or we're naturally that, or, it takes a lot of hard work and dedication to become the woman that we are, and it takes a lot of money. A lot of money. So I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about the hormones. I'll also probably get into talking about trans misconceptions, like, transsexual misconceptions by men and by women. And I'll probably get into the genderqueer thing too next week, because genderqueer plays a big part. Gender fluid. basically I'll be talking about the transgender umbrella next week. So I will see everyone next week. I'm off to make some of my custom videos for my custom vids on MiniVids. If you want to buy some custom videos from me, just go to kellysvod.com or shopkel.com. You can buy some customs from me. You can buy Skype shows from me. You can buy panties from me. I sell it all, boys. So check out my MiniVids. Or if you want to cam with me, check out kellysdreamhouse.com. And I will see everyone next week. Love you. Thanks for joining the chat room, guys. Love you.